welcome everyone to our restorative yoga class tonight. As you can see, I have literally every single prop available. I've got a big old stack of pillows, some blankets. If you have a wall to hand, a wall is great. If you don't have a wall nearby that you can use, get a chair. Any sort of chair will do just fine. I've got several blocks and I've got a yoga strap as well, so pretty much everything except the kitchen sink today. We're going to be doing a really juicy class that's going to also involve some self-massage, which I think is just the best way to start to unwind and relax the muscles and all the tension you may have been carrying throughout the day. So I have a little bit of massage oil, so if you have something nice in your home, even coconut oil works really well, or if you have some nice essential oils, pop them out because we'll be using them. It's going to be really juicy. And with that said, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with our legs either up a wall or on a chair, and since I don't have a wall in this vicinity, I'm going to use my chair. Also grab your strap because we're going to strap the legs. So hopefully my little pillow tower doesn't fall over. There we go. All right, one chair. Grab your strap and you're going to strap the center part of your thighs. Now, if you don't have a yoga belt, that's fine. Literally any sort of strappy object is going to work for you. And the reason we're strapping the legs is because it will fully allow the muscles of the legs to relax. Because even when we think that our muscles are turned off and relaxed, they're quite often still engaging and still on. So we're just going to strap the center of the thighs, and not too tight. You shouldn't feel like you're constricting or hurting the body in any way, but just enough so you're snuggled in, real cozy like. Let me just grab my timer so I know how long we're here, and then we're going to get those legs either on a chair or up a wall. Now again, it's up to you. If your legs are on a wall, you can have them straight up the wall. That is a great way to do it, but maybe the back of the legs don't want that. So if you need a little more softness, you can have the knees bent, and on a chair is a really great alternative. So we're going to be here for a little while, so make sure you're comfortable. You could also bring a blanket or a pillow under your low back if you feel any discomfort there or any desire to make it cozier. Once you've found a reasonable position here on the chair or on the wall, bring your hands behind your head, catch the base of the skull, and just lengthen your neck. So you're going to pull the base of the skull away from the shoulders and lengthen a few times here the back of the neck. So you're just running a few fingers from the top of the shoulders all the way to the base of the skull. Find a little more length and extension there. Just one more time. Give it a nice little gentle tug. Feel a little more extension through the base of the skull and the neck, and then gently lower the head down with that added length. Bring your hands wherever feels appropriate. If it's available to you, try closing your eyes and your mouth. Begin to breathe deeply in and out of your nose. Begin to observe your breath. Notice what it feels like to breathe into your body today. Where do you feel a sense of movement on the inhale, a sense of expansion? And where can you find a further softening, a subtle release on your exhale? Take a moment here to check in with your physical body. Notice how the body is feeling today. Where are you experiencing perhaps a bit of tightness, a bit of tension or grip? Where can you find a further softening, a further release? Maybe through the muscles of the face, the jaw, maybe the eyebrows. Notice your shoulders. Let them soften. Allow the muscles around the belly to relax. And the legs are very heavy, very passive. Fully relax the legs into the strap. So you're trusting that you're supported here. Bring your attention back to your breath. And on your next inhale, breathe into the belly and low ribs for a count of 4. And exhale for a count of 4. Try to stay with this nasal breath whenever possible. It's the best way to bring oxygen into the blood and to our tissues, but it's also a great way to start to activate the parasympathetic nervous system to allow the body to relax and also to restore itself. If it feels available, bring your breath up to 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Bring your awareness to the movement of the low ribs. And start to direct your breath into the sides of your rib cage now. Connecting to a slightly more horizontal breath. So the belly may rise maybe a little bit less. And finally, let's bring that breath up to 6 seconds in and out. Each cycle of breath is a little different than the one before. A little deeper, a little more controlled. Make sure that you're breathing with a sense of ease. We're not forcing anything here. Take a deep inhale in, fill the belly, the low ribs, the lungs, the chest. Bring the breath all the way up into the front of the throat. And then open your mouth, let something go. Gently move your head left to right. Massage the base of the skull here, should feel really nice. And then gently we're going to find stillness and come away from your prop. So we're just going to roll to one side, move very delicately here as we come away, and we're going to come up into a seat. Let's unstrap the legs for now, just for a moment, but we'll come back to it for the same exact reason. And we'll come away from the chair or from the wall here. So I'm just gonna pop my little chair back in its place. If I can fit him. There we go, we did it. All right, now if you have a bolster at home, grab your bolster. I'm just gonna assume you don't, and I actually don't either. So I'm just gonna improvise and create my own little bolster. So we're going to come into a supported bridge variation, and we want to have the legs and most of the torso supported. It just be the shoulders on the floor. So you can play around with what you have at home with your props. You can use blankets, you can use pillows, and I'm going to use a combination of things here. So to support my legs, I'm just going to get these two little squishy pillows. Looks great. And the legs can be slightly lower than the chest, that's absolutely fine. And then to support my upper body, I'm going to take this blanket and this pillow. It's actually about the same height, which is nice. I think I might take this down. I don't know, I want my legs a little bit lower, but it's up to you. You can have everything on one plane, that's fine. And then just make sure that you have space for your shoulders and your head. So I'm just going to scooch this down just a little bit so I know I have space. And then we're going to grab the strap, and you're going to strap your legs once again, exactly like we did before, for the same exact reason, to allow the low back to release a little more and the legs just to be really heavy. So I'm just going to get onto my little structure. You can make it higher if you want a little bit more opening, or lower if you need something more gentle. So the higher the structure, the more intensity you will experience. And we don't really need too much intensity right now. So if you feel like your breathing is impacted at all, bring it down a level. And then just bringing that strap around the thighs once again. Nice. And have your legs supported. You also have a block under your feet, that'll work just as well. And again, make sure your shoulders are down here. So your shoulders, the base of the skull is down, and then everything else is supported. See how it feels, and you can always adjust and figure out what shape works best for you. It doesn't have to look the way I look. Bring your hands down by your sides, palms face up. And then fully relax through the shoulders. Now, before we get totally comfortable, just notice how your low back is feeling. We want to bring a little bit more length and extension into the low back so we can really let it release. So what I'm going to do is bend my knees and walk my feet back. Take your hands to the low back, and you're just going to scoop the flesh of the low back and the glutes down. So you're just going to give a few little sweeping, scooping actions here. A little tuck of the tail, so a posterior pelvic tilt. Drawing that tailbone towards the heels. And once you've found a little more extension, you can just rest here with your knees bent if that feels better, or re-extend your legs down, but have them supported. Bring your arms by your sides. And again, if it feels available to you, try closing your eyes and your mouth. Begin to grow heavy here. And redirect your attention to the movement of the rib cage. As we begin to encourage more movement through the ribs, we're starting to activate our primary breathing muscles, the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles that live between the ribs. using these primary breathing muscles the way they were intended to be used is again a great way to help switch off our fight or flight response, that sympathetic response, and start to bring the body into a better state of relaxation. When the body is in this parasympathetic state, it's able to repair all the damage that's occurred throughout the day. Every single day we have cellular damage, we have the byproducts of cellular respiration, all of these things that need to be washed away, need to be carried out of the body and repaired. And if we're always in that stress response, then we don't have the opportunity for these tissues to repair. Bring your awareness back to your breath. We're going to come back to that count. Let's start with a count of 4 in and see if you can bring it up to a 6 exhale. So 4 seconds in, 6 seconds exhale. And if the exhale is a little bit tricky through the nose, you can try through pursed lips here to slow down the exhale. It can be a little more available to some of us. Notice if your mind starts to worry or wander. And that's fine, that's its job. Let's see if you can bring your attention back to your breath. Choose to be present. Try and find those little pockets of stillness between thoughts. If it feels available to you, try and extend your exhale up to 8 seconds. So still 4 seconds in, 8 seconds out now, if that feels available. And if not, don't worry. Just stay at the tempo that feels appropriate for you today. Try and direct your breath now into the back of the body. Can you feel the skin across your low back expand? Can you feel the movement of your low ribs across the back of the body? It may seem like a very simple thing to do, but effective and full breath is something we very rarely do in our day-to-day, and it is crucial for the health and the function of the rest of the body. Not only to oxygenate the body, but if these ribs become very stiff, then we have stiffness in the upper back, then we get shoulder pain, neck pain, all of these things like a domino effect. So taking this time now just to move those ribs, to breathe diaphragmatically with intention, is going to have such a lovely restorative and rejuvenating effect throughout the whole body. It's all connected, literally all connected. And we're going to play with the breath a little more now. So as you inhale for 4, try to now hold your breath for 2 seconds and then exhale for that count of 8, or whatever exhale suits you. And then whenever you next inhale, hold your breath for a few counts, just holding at the top of the breath. And when you're ready, open your mouth and sigh something out. Nice, let's go ahead and bend your knees. Unstrap yourselves. And we're going to roll off of this little structure. Take your time, there's no hurry. And just come to a seat on your structure, as long as that feels good. Now, here we're going to do one of my favorite self-massage practices. And self-massage is actually just a really lovely way to also get into that parasympathetic state. We're going to stimulate the vagus nerve, and literally any seat is fine, doesn't have to be the way I'm sitting. So I've got my little massage oil. If you don't have massage oil, it's fine. You can do this just with your fingers, but you know, why not make it a little fancy, make it smell good. So find the corner of your jaw, and then we're going to move slightly inwards from that corner. 2 fingers, 1 finger, 3, doesn't matter, just whatever feels good. And you're going to gently massage from the corner of the jaw down the neck, and just move up and down a few times. I'll encourage you to close your eyes. So close your eyes if you can, and notice what this feels like. Just a gentle pressure, you're not forcing. We're massaging the vagus nerve right now, one of the most important cranial nerves that really helps switch on that parasympathetic response. We're also helping to stimulate lymphatic drainage in this area. It's helping that lymph go on its way, clearing out the metabolic waste that builds up just through the natural process of living. It should feel really, really nice. Move as slow or as quick as feels good to you. Such a gorgeous thing to do right before bed as well. Notice if this brings up any emotional response. And just accept whatever comes up is supposed to come up. Oh, that feels amazing. Okay, let it go. Let me know in the comments if you really liked that little massage, because it's one of my absolute favorites. And we're gonna set up for our next posture. So you can keep your little lifted structure. You can use a bolster, you can use a block. We're gonna come into a seated twist. I'm gonna get rid of this pillow for now. Goodbye. And I'm just gonna sit up on this little structure here. So I'm just gonna scooch back. Now we're going to bring the feet out to one side, so make sure you have space. So let's say the right side. So I've got my left side supported by my prop, something squishy, something supportive. Now my right shin is sitting on top of the sole of my left foot, so just like that. All right, so find a comfortable position here. Take an inhale and lengthen your spine, grow a little bit taller. As you exhale, we're going to twist to the left, and it may feel good to take your left hand onto your prop structure and just give it a little bit of tension, just a little bit of pull. And I've got my right hand resting here on the outside edge of my left leg. We're not looking for the deepest, like most aggressive twist, just enough so you feel some sensation. Make sure the spine is still lengthening. Each inhale, think about lifting and lengthening the spine. And each exhale, you twist just a little bit further, if that feels good for you. Again, we're not forcing, we're not pulling, we're not cranking. We're using the breath to move the body. Each breath is creating just a subtle change in the asana. And now we're also going to add on some juiciness for the neck. So we're going to lower the left ear down towards the left shoulder. And that right elbow is hugging in, and we're still in our twist. Now this may be enough. You may want to just stay still, or we're going to gently lift and lower your chin. So we're getting a little massage through these muscles along the side of the neck. Over the course of a typical day, these get quite tense. They do a lot of hard work keeping the head lifted. So we're just rewarding them for that hard work. Move with your breath, and you'll find probably a point that you really feel quite a lot of sensation where you may just want to stay still and breathe. Remember, we never ever want pain. A bit of sensation is great, but never forcing or pushing into pain. Now I'm going to give one last option for a little self-massage. Either stay as you are, or you're going to take your left hand to the right side of your neck, come underneath your right ear. Just going to move my hair. So come underneath your right ear, and you're going to just massage these muscles along the side of the neck, all the way down to the top of the shoulder. And if you do have massage oil, essential oil, coconut oil, this will feel like so good. It feels really, really nice. If you find like a little knot of tension, maybe just push some fingers into it. So you could also just push some fingers into some particularly tender areas. It can feel really, really good. Keep breathing as deeply as you were when we were lying on our backs. Still breathing into those ribs. And this should feel really, really great. Maybe even getting the top of the shoulder, that meaty little guy up here. Oh. And then when you're ready, bring your left hand down. As you inhale, slowly, slowly lift your head up. Really, really, really slow. Oh. And then face forward. Take the palm of your right hand, bring it between your eyebrows, and you're just going to rest your head into your hand here for a few breaths. And then gently lift your head up. Nice. And we're just going to set up for the other side. So you're just going to come onto the other side of your prop, depends on what prop you're using. I'm just going to switch sides so I can still face you all. And we're gonna come down onto that right hip. Now your left shin is on top of the sole of the right foot. You want to feel pretty supported here, pretty snuggled in. And both of your knees are on the floor if possible, or a pillow. You can always support yourself. Take a deep inhale to lift and lengthen your spine. Low belly draws in just a bit, so we're in a neutral spine. And as you exhale, we're going to twist to the right. Left hand to the outside edge of that right leg. And maybe it feels good to bring your right hand to the outside edge of your pillow here. Still maintaining a tall and neutral spine. Each exhale you twist maybe just a bit further, but try to minimize how much you're using your hands. Find that rotation through the body, through that breath. And then when it feels appropriate, lower your right ear down, and that left elbow is hugging in. So that left arm is a bit heavy to help get into that left side of the neck. Then gently lift and lower your chin. I'm getting too relaxed here. I'm losing the power of speech. Moving with your breath up and down. If you find a really juicy area that you want to hold and breathe into, just stay. Allow the twist to keep happening. Keep breathing into your ribs. Relax the muscles of your face. Relax your shoulders. And then maybe if you want that extra step, take your right hand to the side of your neck, that left side. Come under the ear and take a few fingers all the way down, finding this ropey cord of muscle. Maybe even getting into the top of the shoulder here. And this should feel really good. I'll also encourage you to close your eyes, as this will help you sense into what's happening in the body. Maybe just pushing with a few fingers into a particularly tight area. And remember, the breath is everything. Just find massage that feels good for you. Oh. Nice. And then gently come away with your hand. Inhale slow as you can. Start to lift your head back up. Turn and face forward. Bring the palm of your left hand between your eyebrows. Try and fully relax your head into your hand. Just taking a few breaths here to allow everything to settle. As you inhale, slowly start to rise up and get rid of that hand. Alright, we're going to come into a really soft forward fold, and you may want to use your chair here. So you could create a different structure to support yourself. Doesn't have to be a chair, but the chair could be good. So it's nice to have as an option. So we're going to have all of our juicy props with us, so we can use them as we see fit. get my chair onto my mats. Alright, we're going to come into Sukhasana. And I'm going to give a few options if Sukhasana is just not your jam. Let's bring the right leg in front of the left. And if you already feel discomfort in this pose, lift yourself up. So sit on something, a pillow, a block, anything to lift your hips higher. And you can always bring support under your knees as well. So if you feel any discomfort there, get something under your knees. May be necessary, may not be necessary. And we're going to do a forward fold. So it may feel good just to fold onto your chair here. You could cross your arms, bring your head down. Your head could be on the chair. Or if you want to come deeper, you want to go lower, you know that will feel good for you, you can create a structure in front of you with a bolster or some blocks. So you could take what you have and create something there. That could look like this. So you could have one of those. You can have some of these guys. And something like that. And then you can fold like that. It may feel also good to get something under your ankles, but try to wiggle around enough so that it feels comfortable. You're not pushing your bones into the floor, and you're supported. Now, if Sukhasana is just not your boy, it's just not for you, it just doesn't work, which is, very common actually, you're going to come back to the chair or to a wall, and I'll just show you on the chair. So you're going to bring your legs up the wall or the chair. You could always have something under your low back. And then we're going to cross the right leg over the left leg here. And you could have your left foot on the wall or resting on the chair here. So that's a really nice alternative to also open up through the hips. We're going to be here for a little while, so do make sure you're setting yourself up in a comfortable posture. And if it feels available, close your eyes, close your mouth. Notice where you're feeling sensation in the body here. With each exhale, try and soften a little further. Grow a little heavier. Accept that you are supported here. Allow that support to cushion you. Notice if you're gripping anywhere, maybe in the hands, the face, or the shoulders. Allow those stubborn spaces to release. And now, instead of only focusing on your breath, allow your mind to wander. But instead of being carried away by a train of thought, see if you can simply observe the movements of your mind without participating, as if you're peering into the mind of a stranger, only able of witnessing. Notice what arises without judgment, with a sense of curiosity and compassion. Notice if you're carried away by a train of thought. Simply pull back into that seat of observation. Pull back into that part of you that is always watching, always still. That part of you that is aware that you're thinking, that you're aware. On your next inhale, fill the belly, all corners of the lungs from the front to the back, the chest, and then open the mouth and let it go. Nice. As you inhale, slowly start to lift up, and unless you're on the wall or the chair, and we're just going to switch sides. So if you're seated in Sukhasana, bring the left leg in front. You could give it a little wiggle if it needs it. A little wiggle. Actually, you know what? Before we get to the other side, come into a seat, literally any seat. If you have a chair, sit on your chair. We're going to do a facial massage before we get to the other side. So if you have some oil, get your oil. Gonna feel really great. If you don't, that's also fine. Give your hands a little rub. And we're going to bring our fingertips to the center of the forehead. Push your fingertips into the forehead and then just draw your fingers across the forehead and to the temples. Just do a few of these. Should feel really nice. Now, we don't always think about the muscles of the face as needing to relax, but if you've ever had a migraine or a headache, you know that these muscles do get very tight, do carry a lot of stress and tension, and can absolutely use some attention. Come to your temples now and just give your temples a little circle one way, not pushing too hard, just enough that it feels good, and a little circle the other way. Still breathing very deeply. Nice. And then we're going to take 1 or 2 fingers to the forehead and we're just going to slide up and down. Now there's a lot of muscles here and there's fascia here that gets a bit tight, a bit congested. So we're just moving forward and in, up and down, stimulating the nerves here and releasing fascia muscles. Should feel good. Come to the temples and let it go. We're going to do little eyebrow pinches. So start from the center and you're just going to pinch your eyebrows, and it's very weird, but we do store a lot of tension in this area. And then just keep giving it a few little pinches. My partner, when he gets really stressed out, his eyebrows vibrate. It's the weirdest thing. It's very amusing. Probably not to him, but it's because these muscles get really stressed out when we're stressed. And he's a really classic example of that. Give it one more little squeeze. All right, and now we're gonna get to the other side. So crossing either that left leg in front of the right for Sukhasana, folding forward, Or you have your legs on the wall, on the chair, and we're just going to cross the left leg on top of the right leg to open up through that outer left hip. Set yourself up for a supportive position. And this side may be quite different from the other, especially if you have any injuries or anything going on one side. You'll notice right away it can be quite different. Once you've found a comfortable shape, try closing your eyes, closing the mouth. Keep directing your breath into the ribs, focusing now on breathing evenly into all four corners of the torso. So we're breathing into the front, we're breathing into the back, and we're breathing into the sides. We're encouraging that 360 deep breath now. Once again, allow your thoughts to come in. Allow the mind to wander a bit. But instead of participating, we're simply observing what comes to the surface. As if you're at a bus stop and buses keep passing by, observing these buses coming and going as you remain still. These thoughts are like those buses. We don't need to hop on. We don't need to be carried away to a new destination. We can simply watch them arrive and watch them go. And this in itself is a practice, mental practice. It's a really lovely way to encourage self-awareness, to improve self-knowledge, and to gain a little more clarity about how we're feeling, what needs our attention, what doesn't need our attention. Notice if you've hopped onto one of those buses. See if you can step off. Simply watch. On your next inhale, fill the body from the belly up. Hold the breath at the top, make it as full as possible, and then let it all go. Inhale, lift on up, and we're going to come into a seat. We're gonna do one last series of face massage here. It's a great way to relax some of these muscles that get really tense. So taking 2 fingers, 3 fingers to the side of the jaw, so that like TMJ, and then we're just gonna give it a little shake. So you're just gonna give it a little shake and move down, and just enough pressure that you're feeling something. A little shake, little circles, up and down the length of the jaw. When we get really stressed, a lot of us tend to unconsciously grip the jaw, clench the jaw, and you can try opening and closing your jaw here a little bit. Just notice how that feels. May look a little silly. Nice. And then get into your cheeks. Just get some nice little cheek circles going. Fully relax the muscles of the face. Just let it go. Don't worry about it, what it looks like. Just worry about what it feels like. Nice. And then come away. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is going to be really, really nice. So, I'm going to come to the base of the skull here. I'm just going to try and show you the back of my head as much as I can. Bring your fingers right to the base of the skull where it meets the neck, and you're just going to push your fingers in here, and you can move out and you can move in, you can move up the length of the neck here, getting into the top of the shoulders, and then see if you can find maybe a point of tension, maybe a little ball of something. Push your fingertips into where you feel maybe a bit of tightness. Keep pushing, keep your hands still, and then we're just going to lift the head up, and you're just going to push into that area in the back of the head, and then you're going to move the head down. So just a few times, up and down, pushing into some of these pressure points that also get quite tight. Just find some of these little sensitive areas. Give it one more little round. Should feel really good. Just play with where the fingers are, with the pressure. Should feel really great. And again, let me know in the comments if this is feeling good, if you like this. Oof. And then come up, let it go. And then the final thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna take 1 or 2 fingers between the eyebrows. Push the fingers between the eyebrows, close your eyes. Focus on the sensation of your fingers and the pressure against your skin. And then just move your fingers up along the center of the forehead, pressing as you go. Slowly move back down. Keep breathing. Hold between the eyebrows one more time. And then slowly release. All right, we're gonna set up for our final pose for Shavasana. Now you can start or end as we started, with your legs on a chair, on a wall with that strap, if you really liked that. Or I'm gonna give a variation. We're gonna also get a little bit of incline. So if you wanna get your legs up a wall, that's great, you do that. Or take your bolster or your props, take your books or your blocks, and we're gonna make a little incline, nothing too intense, but I have one block at a low level and one at the next highest level. I'm going to take my pillows on top. Again, if you have a bolster, use your bolster. Just gonna bring like, I don't know, 2 pillows up there, looks good. And then I'm gonna take my strap. This is optional, maybe get a bit confusing, and if you feel confused, don't worry. I'm gonna take the strap, which is again optional, make a little loop. And it's going to depend on you, how big it is. I'm going to come into the loop, and I'm going to come into Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Now what I want is to support the knees here, so they're not just flopping out. I'm going to bring the strap to the outside edge of the knees. I wish my strap wasn't the same exact color as my pants. And then bring it down. So now I've got my strap on the low back, so pretty low down, right on the top of the glutes, and my legs are supported. So the bigger your strap is, the more open your legs will be, but make sure you feel supported. Now we're gonna bring our legs up on this little structure. It's gonna be a little bit awkward, but you know what, that's okay. That's fine. So we're just gonna give it a little scooch. Try to keep tension on your strap. It's gonna be a little tricky, but we're gonna do it. And then we're gonna get up there and we're just gonna scooch up, and it's gonna look a little funny. And then we're gonna lower down and readjust your strap once you get down. You're gonna wanna give it a little readjustment and should feel good. This is where it will end. If this doesn't feel good, any other variation that you like. Once you're in a comfortable position, close your eyes, close your mouth. Maybe bring a scarf or a little eye mask over your eyes so you can really start to let go. Allow your body to be really heavy here. Allow the muscles of the face to soften further. The jaw releases. The teeth move apart. The tongue is heavy in the mouth. The cheeks grow soft and heavy. The eyes sink heavy into the sockets. Feel the weight of your eyelids. Allow the space between the eyebrows to soften and expand. Slowly bring your awareness back to your breath. Notice the rise and fall of the belly. Notice the movement of the low ribs. On your next inhale, fill the body from the belly all the way up to the chest and throat. Open the mouth, let something go. Let's slowly make our way onto one side from whatever position you were in. Push up to a seat. Bring the hands together at heart center. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, bow the head. Press the thumbs between the eyebrows. Take one last moment of stillness here. Thank you so much for sharing that practice with me today. If you enjoyed this class, please give the video a little thumbs up, write a comment below, ask me any questions, let me know how you're feeling. And if you want to support the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications so you won't miss the next class that I post next week. See you on the mat soon.